In the first scene, we are introduced to Thunderlag, a martial arts expert and assassin who has spent his entire life training to be the best fighter in the world. He is known for his signature Devil's Kick, is a swift and deadly kicking style that can defeat even the best opponents on any given day. He gets a letter from a client who wants him to kill Wei, a well-known kung fu master. He has also paid a large sum of money for his services. Without wasting any time, Thunder goes to Wei and challenges him to a fight. Wei offers him twice as much money for his life, but Thunder declines because, despite being a fugitive, he is a man of high principles when it comes to his work. The fight begins, and a master like Wei is shown to be weak in front of Thunder. In the following scene, we are taken to the best martial arts training facility in the town, where he shows amazing footwork and defeats the opponent in a matter of minutes. It is run by a master named Wang and his disciple, but none of them are afraid of Wang. Freddy Kai is the most notorious of all the trainees. He teases Kai and laughs at the other's misery. When Kai realizes what is going on, he calls out Freddy for being a spoiled brat and taking advantage of his father's position and having a white-ass name. They decide to settle the conflict with a fight, but Kai loses because he is not as spoiled as Freddy. Only lacking proper discipline, the man has a natural talent for martial arts. Later that day, Freddy is in the market with his friends, preparing to pull practical jokes as they usually do. He uses an eel to frighten a girl and get her to jump on him, but the girl's mother, who is also a kung fu master and more skilled than any opponent Freddy has ever faced, catches him. Freddy has been taught a lesson before he registers he cannot win against her, and his luck is not in his favor that day because on the way back home Jerry is the name of the man he sees. By refusing to pay the right amount, he is troubling a poor seller. Before leaving, he warns Jerry to stay out of his sight because he stands up to the bully and defeats him in a fight to make him pay the amount. In the evening, if he values his life, he turns around and sees that the girl Freddy does his best to ignore them, but his father calls him closer to introduce him to the guests after he played a practical joke earlier and her mother is with him. It turns out that they are his aunt and cousin, who have traveled from a different city to see them. They inform Master Wong about his son's mischievous behavior, which gets Freddy into trouble just as he is about to receive punishment. They are interrupted by a landowner. Jerry's father, Lee, is upset with Freddy for beating him up. Additionally, his son Jerry is brought in front of Master Huang, covered in bandages due to his numerous injuries. Lee wants Freddy to be punished for his crimes rather than an apology for what was done to him. Wang pulls out a stick to strike Freddy, but his aunt stops him. She requests that the victim's friends punish Freddy however they see fit, but he receives 10 blows from Jerry, and he is unable to defend himself in between. Friends boldly step forward, but they don't realize that Freddy can defend himself even if he can't counterattack. Due to Freddy's ability to deflect each of his initial hits, they go to waste. Freddy is still upright and free from any serious injuries after the 10 attacks. When the opponent tries for an extra attack, Lee and his goons must pick up Jerry and return home in embarrassment after Freddy sends him flying with a single blow. But Master Wong's anger hasn't subsided yet. Starting the next day, he subjected Freddy to a series of cruel punishments. Every day, Freddy and his friends are forced to squat with bowls on their heads and shoulders for hours. Find a number of ways to cheat their way out of punishment. Wong, Master, finds out about this and is fed up with his son's lack of discipline. Deciding to take a significant step, he calls his brother is a legendary kung fu master, Sam. First name, he is unbeatable and best known for his drunken style of kung fu. Long Run believes that under his care even someone like Freddy will start taking life seriously up until when Freddy arrives. He is kept in the outhouse with a heavy pot clung to his neck. As a punishment in the end, his friend rescues him and reveals that Master Sam is not the usual person. By the end of the training, he tortures his students to the point where they are unrecognizable. Freddy might as well bid his freedom farewell once he arrives, as well as peace upon hearing all the gruesome things Sam has done that no longer Freddy wants to meet him. By the end of the day, he is on the run and has arrived at a restaurant. He tricks a man into treating him to a meal because he is penniless. However, it turns out that the man is the owner of the restaurant. His goons start a fight with Sam trying to cheat them and the restaurant master. Sam is currently enjoying a meal. He helps Freddy fight and recognizes him. The goons as they talk, Freddy is thankful to the stranger for his help. He starts insulting people, failing to recognize that Sam is the same man. Freddy stops and asks the stranger after berating him all he wants. His name after learning that he is the Master Freddy and has the whitest name of them all. The color of the face changes. If that doesn't work, he tries to make a run for it. He attempts to fight foolishly. Sam is taught and a brief lesson. Starting the next day, his training program begins, and his first task is to repeatedly transfer massive of water from one pot to a different. He looks around for the ideal moment and pretends to have fallen into one of the pots. Sam comes to his aid when he is tricked and trapped inside the building, then escapes and comes to rest at an abandoned building. The place turns out to be the dangerous assassin Thunder. He orders Freddy to kill someone but is unaware of the murderer's identity. Because of Thunder, Freddy refuses. Leg proceeds to humiliate and beat up. He's about to kill him, but stops because killing a mere weakling like Freddy would harm his reputation. Life has been saved. However, he has never felt more embarrassed. In his entire life, the anger turns into a will to exact revenge against Thunder, and in order to win, he must train in the following scene. He goes back to Sam, apologizing and begging for help. Then Sam takes him back, providing him the final chance to prove himself. Multiplying his arm strength is the first step in training. This is done by tying sticks to his hands and using him as a puppet after training the entire day. Freddy has a hard time using chopsticks at dinner. If he ever becomes as strong as Thunder, he doubts. He feels his arms gaining strength, though, as the days go by. When he can break walnuts with his bare fingers, the first quarter of the training ends. Then one day the student and master go to a local betting zone where you can gamble with extremely sharp eyes. Sam is an experienced gambler. He makes a lot of money and wins every round. They are interrupted by a bald man who thinks he can defeat Sam, much to the annoyance of his opponents. In the final round, they put all of their money. However, the man cheats to win. After being proven to be a fraud, he starts and panics. Freddy challenges him to a fight while blaming him, believing it will be an easy win. The bald man, however, reveals that he has been trained in Skull Powerful Head and Kung Fu style in the first. He overpowers Freddy. The fights half. Freddy, however, gets his hands on a hammer and defeats the man in the end. A while later, Master Sam runs out of alcohol and asks Freddy to get him a few from a restaurant, but he instead eats a big meal with the money and dilutes the alcohol with water, assuming Sam won't know the difference somewhere else. The man with the bald head brings the bamboo. Sam will be punished by the master for his earlier actions. The bamboo the master is holding his stick, but Sam lacks alcohol, which is his primary source of power. Freddy arrives on time. However, Sam recognizes right away that the alcohol is diluted, so neither of them can fight the bamboo master. They decide to flee at night as a result because he couldn't defeat the bamboo master. Freddy blamed Sam for not teaching him properly. Sam reveals that he had only been learning the basics of the Drunken Kung Fu technique up until this point. Having mastered the basics, he will need to acquire knowledge. The parts that are more important, the two then drink until they are out of their minds. When this much alcohol makes it hard for an average person to walk within their system, Sam can perform the techniques of all 7 Kung Fu masters, and after hours of training, Freddy learns about the master's strengths and weaknesses. To finally get the hang of the complicated Kung Fu techniques, he begins to practice. Additionally, he is far more disciplined. Compared to before, he takes the training more seriously. One day to Master Wang comes the landowner Li Wang. He is asking him. Wang wants to know if Li intends to misuse the land by converting it into a coal mine in order to sell it. Li offers him even more, 20% of the profit, but Wang kicks him out. In the following scene, Thunder Leg receives a client letter. Li, who wants to murder him, is the sender. Wang Thunder takes the task and gets ready to go somewhere else in the city. With alcohol in his possession, Freddy is walking. He comes across the bamboo when Master decides to exact revenge after remembering how the man humiliated him and Sam. He sees the man urging him to make the first attack, and the fight appears to be neutral. Freddy drinks alcohol up until then. When he's on the run, he is impossible to fight. Not even the well-known bamboo. Before stealing Master, he almost hilariously defeats the man. 2 big pots of his wine reaching home. However, to see Sam missing, he is shocked. He finds a letter where the master thanked him for believing in his teachings. Freddy has learned everything. He says he has completed his task and is leaving back in the training center because there is to know about Drunken Kung Fu. A man goes to teach Wang a lesson in a panic and reveals that Li and his people are taking over the land by force. Wang is enraged and goes to teach them a lesson, but finds no one. It is revealed that the notice was a trick played by Thunder Leg to get Wang by himself. Thunder is particularly excited about the battle because he is constantly looking for a stronger opponent. His death will elevate Thunder's reputation, and he thinks Wang is the perfect match for him. The fight, Thunder and the two spar in strength and technique for a while, but when Thunder decides to use the Devil's Kick, even the mighty Wang is injured and is just seconds away from being killed when one of his disciples boils his blood. To fight, he gets ready. The opponent in Wang's place is Thunder. From that time, Leg remembers him. He was humiliated by the assassin because he thinks Freddy is the same person who ran away with his tail between between his legs. The first time Sam arrives at the battlefield, much to Freddy's delight, Thunder freezes in shock. Knowing what the Drunken Master is capable of turns out to be, Sam assures him that he will not interfere in the fight even though he is the only person the deadly assassin is scared of. Between his student and Thunder, he wants it to be. When the fight starts, Freddy dodges all of Thunder's attacks and makes a mistake. Giving Freddy the upper hand in the end, he uses his arm strength to snap Thunder's neck, and he defeats him. Finally, Freddy stands victorious, and his father is proud of him. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.